Okay, immigration is probably our longest serving task force. We started Immigration Task Force, I want to say in like 2005, so we might be looking at 20 years doing this. It's been a question for us all for a very long time. And so we all have had the belief that the undocumented deserve to be treated as human beings and have all the rights that we have. And fortunately now we have all the religious leaders of, or most of the denominations, standing up for that fact, which is good. Unfortunately, we know we have some things that aren't going so well with that. Just give you a brief history of what the task force has done and tried to do. We've always been advocates for legislation, and that has changed many times. Sometimes there would be small things that we wanted to see legislation on. Right now there's some things going on that Harriet could tell us about if we wanted to know what's going on now. But a lot of times we're up against a wall here because legislation in Wisconsin can be a challenge. We've, through the past, done a number of educational presentations. We feel that most people really don't know what it means to be undocumented. They don't know how much these immigrants provide to our communities. There's so much misinformation. They don't pay taxes, they take all our money, all these things. And our presentations were able to come through and tell a lot about this to educate people. So if somebody comes up to you and says something negative about an immigrant or they don't pay taxes, if you're educated, you could say, yes, they do. They own properties, they work and they pay taxes on their job, etc. We've also had a number of rallies and different protests. Some of them have been small, and some of them have been very, very large. You know, we've held rallies out at the detention center when we still housed undocumented people out there that were very well presented. The rallies that we've done, one of the more was when there was an issue of separation of children from their parents. And that was a real huge issue. And that was a really cold day when we were out in Civic Center Park for that one. But our biggest long-term project, and if you understand how we work on issues, we cut an issue, and the issue is supposed to be very precise, it's supposed to be winnable, and we have been working on this one same issue for close to 15 years, and it still has not got anywhere, and that's driver's license for undocumented people. The problem is they need to get to work, they need to get their kids places, and they don't have the ability to drive legally. Not with our current sheriff, but with the one before him, he was very much a proponent of this and working with other sheriff's departments to try and see that if he could sway people in that. Still hasn't worked. It's still on our agenda right now, and we know it's probably not going to go anywhere for a while. But one win that we have had, and they always talk about issues as being wins, and that's something is one of your goals, is we have a lot of undocumented people who will get stopped and ticketed because they don't have a license. And Marlene, who's on our task force, had worked with the city, and they developed a program where if the people took a class, and it had to do with, and I can't explain it as well as Marlene can, but it had to do with them understanding why they couldn't be driving, giving them other options instead of driving themselves, and then their tickets were held back. That was a good program. But again, when government things change, sometimes the next people aren't supportive of that, and that's the case where we are right now. But that went on for how many years, Marlene? 5 or so? 7, 8? Okay, so it was a really good program. And that's what we found with our task forces. That was something that Marlene worked on, and she took charge in that. So sometimes being part of this task force is a situation where I can't do this, but she could do that. And that really worked out for them. We work real heavily with Wisdom and the other Wisdom affiliates on immigration. We have found through all of our task forces and all of our work in Wisdoms that we learn a lot from the other affiliates. And sometimes they'll do a project, and we did a fair trade project one time for something I don't remember, and it was totally taken from another affiliate's work. And we consider it an honor if somebody wants to use our work, and they did too. So that's good. So now we get to today, and we know that everybody knows what's going on with immigration right now. It's a very sad, sad situation. And what we're working with on Wisdom are Kenosha's working on two things. One is a Know Your Rights campaign for individuals, and the other is a Know Your Rights campaign for employers. And there's all kinds of materials designed that tell people what to do if somebody comes knocking at their door, and tells them what their rights are and tells them how to react with that. And so our newer venture is trying to get so that employers, we have a few employers in town that have a lot of undocumented people working with them. And we're trying to work with them and see if we can help them. Unfortunately, we're seeing that a lot of the people that are taken into custody, it isn't at their homes, it's out on the streets. So some of the Know Your Rights stuff becomes a little more challenging then. And we are a group right now of 4 people, and we don't have a chair. We kind of do it together. We're all very passionate, but we would like some more people to join us and try and decide some other ways that we can come up against this brick wall that we're doing right now. Erica's going to come up and tell you about another program that's very active right now, and we'll see how that goes.
Grant, I wasn't expecting a promotion to Reverend tonight. Thank you. I'm a Dominican sister of Sinsinawa. My name is Erica Jordan. I'm happy to be Erica in this group. Excuse me. So I've been part of the Immigration Task Force since 2015. And 2 years ago, we learned about a Department of Justice program that allows non-lawyers to offer legal, low-cost services to underprivileged clients through a not-for-profit agency that has been recognized by the Department of Justice. So 2 of us, Marlene and I, volunteered to participate in the training and to seek accreditation. And we were very lucky to be sponsored by a grant program that was called Wisconsin Capacity Building Initiative. It's coming to an end now, but for 2 years they have been offering us training at no cost. So the first thing we did was take a course in comprehensive overview of immigration law, a very challenging course, and then many online webinars and seminars over a year and a half period. And all of this was through a group called CLINIC, which stands for Catholic Legal Immigration Network Incorporated, which is a nationally recognized immigration law services organization. So after passing the final exam, we sought accreditation through the Racine Interfaith Coalition, and we opened the Kenosha Extension Office last December 2024. Right. We chose to collaborate with RIC because they were already a recognized organization and provider of legal services. They had a program director in place, and it saved us the cost of becoming a recognized organization on our own. And we also have the benefit of having colleagues who practice in Racine with whom we can collaborate. Our office is located in the ELCA Outreach Center, and we see our clients by appointment only. We decided not to have a walk-in kind of a service because by appointment it allows us to be better prepared for the people who are coming and to know what services they are looking for. So here are some of the types of cases that we have been working on for the last 6 months. Applications for work authorization, green card renewals, working with victims of domestic violence who are seeking status in the U.S., applications for United States citizenship, family-based immigration, and status for victims of serious crimes. Since the two of us are partially accredited rather than fully accredited, we do not represent clients in the immigration court. For example, we aren't able to represent people seeking asylum because their cases are heard in the immigration court in Chicago. However, we're able to offer such clients a list of trusted attorneys that we know will not take advantage of them. And here are some ways that you or your congregation might help us. If you know undocumented people, refer them to us. Marlene and I are volunteers. All of the service providers are volunteers. So we have a $50 fee for those who can pay it. And if they can't, they don't have to pay. However, many of our clients who make applications still have to pay the government, the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Service, for their application fee. And those fees can range from $100 to like $1,500 and sometimes more, depending on what they are applying for. So if you or your congregation would like to help our clients pay those fees, we would be delighted to receive any help you might offer for that. And then a third thing would be to sponsor educational opportunities in your congregation so people can be up to date about what's happening with immigration in the current situation that is so challenging. You're aware of how fearful people are. We've even seen a lessening of calls because people would have to come out to see us in our office. But we try to have a calm and non-threatening environment for people who want to talk with us about what we might be able to help them with. So, if you have any questions.
Do we have any questions for Sister Jordan and Sandy? Going twice.
Just to echo what Sandy had said about working with other affiliates in Wisdom, the statewide organization, every other year, Wisdom has something called Madison Action Day. It's the year when Wisconsin does its budget, because Wisconsin does its budget every odd-numbered year for a 2-year cycle. And we always have 4 asks that we ask of our legislators. And one of the 4 asks this year, which probably is not going to happen, was driver's cards. So we're continuing to work on that, and we're continuing to try and form alliances with other organizations throughout the state. For instance, the dairy industry is 70% undocumented persons in Wisconsin. So we're working with them as well.
Could I make a point of personal privilege here? I just have to say how heartbreaking it was for me when Kathy was reading the list of member organizations of CUSH, that there were no Catholic churches mentioned, and previously there would have been. So my hope is that next year, when that list is read, that we will be back with CUSH. Thanks.